Remember my pictures that were videos? Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Zoom call. Thank you all so much for joining. And for those who join us later, I'll be thrilled to add to our bunch here. I know that going back and forth between 5 and 6, 8 and 9 is a little confusing, but hopefully we'll find a time that's beneficial for everybody soon. I really didn't want to be the solo speaker on tonight's call. I wanted to share TSFL University with other people, but I wasn't able to successfully do that. So before I go ahead and give over, did anybody listen to last week's Habits of Health call that was run by David Bush? Because I actually found it to be an amazing segue. If you haven't listened to it, you know, they're all great, but some are greater than others. I've never heard David Bush before, and I have to say he was outstanding, and it was so relevant to what we want to speak about in terms of the Thin It to Win It challenge that's coming up. So I'd love to start the call. David Spiegelman was actually going to share on the leadership call, which I know did speak about the Thin It to Win It. So if he should join a little bit later, that'll be great, and if not, not. For new clients, for older clients, I can't sing the praises of David Bush's call enough for getting people integrated into the power of what we're really offering. He was speaking about the incredible marriage of what happens in terms of success when we plan. And he quoted, he said, if you don't have a good plan, you're likely to fall in the plan of other people. I loved that quote. And he said we have a greater chance of success when we have a plan. I know I have an old mantra from my OA days, if you fail to plan, plan to fail. And all of my clients have heard me say this. Success, he was saying, leaves clues. You know, failure, unfortunately, is something that we can all benefit from. And we're much more likely to be influenced by the people that we surround ourselves with. So if we make plans and we then kind of change ourselves and change our environment and little by little change our habits and our behaviors, we'll find that we'll want to change the surroundings that we're in, and then we're going to start changing the society that we live in. It was a pretty powerful statement. And he said, just think about the multi-billions of dollars that are promoted by the food industry. When you go into the grocery store, there is a design, there is a plan to get us to buy the foods that are not on our list if we go in without a list. The fast food industry banks on the fact that people don't plan out their day, that they're going to go to work starving because they didn't take the time to put together some healthy food before they left the house. Or it's the end of the day and they're famished. I know most of the clients that I meet with eat about twice a day, and they're going to stop at that drive-through on the way home and pick up some fast food. So the society that we're living in is a multi-billion-dollar industry that's banking on people not planning, because most of us don't want to take the time to do it because it's a lot of work. But what happens when we plan and we strategize and we arm ourselves with tools is we have this incredible chance of now being much, much more successful. David Bush quoted Benjamin Franklin as saying that 8 hours of hard labor is equal to 1 hour of planning. If we don't take the time to clarify where we want to go, we're going to spend a lot of time going to places that we never planned to be. Powerful stuff. He said something else that I liked very much. He said that people who do this program, he said if you do it right, you do it light. And if you do it wrong, you do it long. And what happens when people do it long, they don't follow the plan, is that eventually they get really weary. They get really tired. And he gave the example, he showed this map, and he gave an example of if you're living in New York and you decide you want to go to a trip and go to LA, it's a straight, pretty much shot. You go, you get out the map, and you plan your route. But if you just know that you want to go west and you don't really know exactly how you're going to get there, you're probably going to go northwest, northwest and southwest, and you're going to get there, but you're going to have so many bumps and detours in the road that you're going to be exhausted if you get there at all, or you might just say forget the whole trip and go back to New York where you started from. But when things are in place, when you've got a solid map and you're in your car and you're gassed up and you've got your route, he said nothing is going to get in your way. You're going to be reared up to go and you're going to get there. And the biggest thing that we can offer people in giving them a plan and giving them direction, which we know as structural tension, right? Our current reality, our desired outcome, and then our action steps to get there is to put dates attached. It's a very easy thing to say, I want to lose 50 pounds. But it's a very different thing to say, I want to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. And this is what I'm going to do in order to get there. And it puts some fire in our belly to get us moving. And the beautiful thing that we have as health coaches, and that he was sharing with the clients calling this call to offer, is that you have a coach, you have a leader to guide you and be your inspiration along the way. And gave a wonderful example of the benefit of time planning. We all have the same 168 hours in our week. Are you going to plan to succeed in that 168 hours? What are you going to accomplish in that week? And I thought, what an incredible segue for us going into this Thin It to Win It challenge, to take this same advice about the importance of a solid plan and what that solid plan can do for our clients, and to then understand that this Thin It to Win It challenge can be our plan. If we know as health coaches, I am right now a manager and I really would like to be an ED. What do I need to do to get there? Dr. Ray speaks so much about aim to stay. He's giving us some unbelievable actions and strategies in order to get there. And Gary sent out an amazing link for health coaches to start to become familiarized with this challenge, which I will share with you. I am not a techie. I am not on Facebook with any great ease. Rachel's laughing because she knows this so much to be true. And I'm very scared and intimidated by this challenge. I'm looking at all of these links and all this stuff to do, and I'm like, oh my God. But as I start to just, Kim, breathe and be mindful and focus on, look, I want a plan to start moving my business forward. And the company has done some research. Some other leaders have done challenges. They've seen great success. Let's take some deep breaths and start watching some webinars and look at what this is all about. I am so much more relaxed than I was 2 weeks ago, and I'm so much more relaxed than I was just after watching that Erin 1-hour webinar 1 week ago. This website is called challengecoaches.com. Have any of you taken a chance? Have any of you been able to explore it a little bit?
I did. It was great.
What was the best part? Because there are a lot of elements to it, Liz. What spoke to you at the beginning of looking in there?
Well, I've gone through a couple. I spent about an hour on it this morning, and I didn't take notes because I was doing a million things while it was going on, but I really felt that I needed to start familiarizing myself with it because I'm also feeling very overwhelmed. I think the potential is amazing, and I really feel that I don't remember who was talking, but they were talking about starting to make lists of how you're going to categorize the people you're going to reach out to. And that was just made so much sense to me because I've been like, oh my gosh, how am I going to, I know it's great for my not inactive clients, and I can really start reaching out to my, friends who weren't so interested in the 5-in-1, but are always looking to be healthy, and they could be a terrific referral source. So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to start grouping my people and start thinking about how am I going to reach out to them? Am I going to call them? Am I going to send some emails as groups to each group? Started thinking about my book club and all these different people that I see all the time, and how I can, welcome them and use them to grow my business. Which I think it's going to be an amazing tool if I can market it properly to each group. So I thought taking the time now before I don't want to be overwhelmed by the tech part. So I feel like this is the beginning, and then I thought it was very helpful, like giving me something to work on right now. And once I can see the actual website and how I'm going to set up the room with whoever I'm setting up rooms with, it made it very, it made it very practical for me, and it broke it down for me, like how to get started. So maybe I'm talking too much, but that's what
No, you're not talking too much. It's very important because, especially as someone who's now been a coach for over a year, you start to grow weary of, okay, I need to go back and recreate my contact list, right?
Right.
Go and start building up that pre-client folder. And you have just given incredible examples where I think only a few months ago, Liz, we're like, oh, I've done everything. Where else should I go? You just look at the list you just created in your head from now brainstorming of a new way to connect with people. It's very non-threatening, right? I find that this is an incredibly non-threatening way of now inviting people to something.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about
you? I
you?
don't feel like I'm selling something. I don't feel like I'm trying to sell them anything. I just feel like it's like, let's see what happens. And their commitment is minimal, and it can either go or it won't go, but I want to put the effort to try to make it work. So that's what I'm going to do.
Fantastic. Rachel, have you spent any time on it? Do you have a good takeaway from the website?
Yeah, I think you guys can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Liz is along the same track that I've been on. It's like I finally wrapped my head around it, and I think I've already stepped back actually from sharing, though, because I shared on one of my clients. She has her own little healthy group of women, and when I posted that this challenge was coming, and they were like, I want to register now, and then I've had to say, in a few days, or now it's September 1st. So I think it's like, I know that I don't really need to be sold on how great it could be. I think that what all of us should be doing right now is just thinking and writing down contacts, sort of that plan of the invite. I think it's going to be, as far as managing it on a daily basis, I think it's just, we're giving ourselves a tool to build up a pre-client folder with no barriers. They can be on Weight Watchers. They can be on all, Nutrisystem. Doesn't really matter. So I think that's the biggest part, is to just know that each of those people know people, and it can go levels and levels and levels deep. And it's like you said, it's a sort of, it doesn't have to be about Medifast or Take Shape for Life necessarily. But I'm trying not to go too deep into it, Malka, because it is overwhelming as far as.
Can I give everybody, and spending a little bit of time going through it, and there's a lot to go through. First of all, Greg sent out a really great little video email yesterday to please take this time now to really decompress and familiarize yourself. You don't want to invite anybody yet.
Right.
Because since we can't sign anyone up till September 1st, and it doesn't start till the 15th.
Right.
Be all excited when you invite them, and then we're going to lose all that momentum. So
right.
You want to invite, you want to start putting those lists together of who you're going to. I can tell you just today, it was so exciting. I got 3 new email addresses from people that I just interacted with over the course of the day, and some, I was out with a friend, and it was such an exciting thing. I chit chat with people all the time. You know what? I've got this competition coming up, and it's so exciting, and you're so much fun. I'm looking for people just like you. Would you be interested in maybe sharing your email? I couldn't believe I got all these email addresses today.
Yeah.
And they were young and hip and excited. And I know they're going to hopefully tell 2 friends and tell 2 friends, and it's going to build. I've never been so comfortable, going out there and sharing, but I've got to hold back because I have nothing to invite them to yet.
Yeah.
And really, things that I would say are very powerful that I've watched so far in terms of a video, is the predictable transformation video that David Bush and Craig Planchette did.
Okay.
And the same thing, if you want predictable transformation, you need to plan for it. So it was such a great connection to first watch Craig Blanch. You can watch the Habits of Health support calls also now if you do them on the computer. So I watched David Bush do his Habits of Health support call about planning last week, and then he and Craig speaking about predictable transformation and what their experiences in the past challenges that they've been involved in were, and how it worked, and really getting some language from them of what we say to people. The language is so important, and it's there. There are also so many marketing tools that we can start to put together in terms of how you post on Facebook, how you send out emails, a 4x6 colored card that we can all print up with our information when we're out and about that we can hand out to people in addition to getting email addresses. They are creating such an incredible, I'm so impressed with the organization of this, amount of materials to help us get up and running with this, with this challenge, both in how to do it, who to do it with, where to present it, what mediums to utilize, what language to use, and then training in the platform itself and how we're going to be able to navigate around our rooms. And that leads to the next thing that I think is a really important thing to clarify that we started to speak about last week. Who should get a room? Should everybody get a room? How should that work? Terry Miller just did the beta version of this challenge. Gary shared with me a great idea. Terry Miller has a YouTube channel, and every one of us can subscribe to Terry's YouTube channel and then watch her Zoom trainings and what she's shared by being a part of the beta, the beta test of this past challenge. She's great. And for those of you who have never met Terry and been able to benefit from her workshops, she's a really good teacher. So I really highly recommend, it's a 1-minute video that she did, but she really said to have fun in a room, to get a lot of energy going in a room, what she found in her challenge, the minimum was 10. The magic number was really between 20 and 30. So if you're an ED and you have 25 to 30 clients, and who knows how many inactive clients and other people that you're going to connect with, you probably want your own room as an ED because you're going to have enough people to fill up that room on your own. But for your coaches who are not EDs, since we know that having those bigger numbers is what's going to create that momentum and that energy and that excitement in the room, the best idea would be to group together with some other coaches and share a room. The question previously was, if we share a room, how do we track the leads? Because in the previous version, there was no way to track where those leads were coming from. In the 2.0 version, which is the version that we will be utilizing in the Thin It to Win It, Gary shared with me that they've worked out that piece, and it will track for us where that lead comes from. So if Esther, you invited Jane to be a part of the challenge, and you're sharing a room with Liz, who invited Martha to be a part of the challenge, and Jane refers someone into the room, Jane refers George into the room, we will know automatically that George goes to you and not to Liz. So it makes it so much easier now to share a room and know that we can build up the numbers in that room and then build up the momentum to help keep everybody having fun and continuing to want to invite people, because we know inviting people into the room gets them more points. And there seems to be an unbelievable magic that people find in earning points. People want to earn points, and it's really interesting. When you earn points, you're earning them by doing the behaviors. So a lot of times we'll go out there and we'll get a new client and they'll buy the Habits of Health system, and we'll be calling all the support calls every week, and we're creating the kind of transformation that we want to create. But a lot of times we're bringing on a new client and all they're doing is the 5 and 1. And the 5 and 1 is going to help them lose weight, but they're certainly not going to go through any kind of transformation. We all know that. What this program is going to do for us is it's going to motivate people to do the daily reading, to drink their water, to watch the video, because they're going to earn points by doing those things. And the videos and the readings are all appropriate at the level that they are in the challenge. And it's incredible what Craig was sharing, but people start posting, oh my gosh, today's video was incredible. Oh my gosh, today's reading, I got so much out of it, that somebody's like, oh my, I didn't get my points. I didn't do it yet. I better go get my reading done. And they're clicking and they're doing, and energy's going. And what's happening? They're, from earning points, transforming. They're going through the habits of health. They're growing through the system the way Dr. A has designed the system to most effectively help us go through change. So it's a very, very powerful new way for us to create momentum, to plan for our success, to energize the people in our communities, to then energize the people in their communities, and to hopefully really have a lot of fun and make a lot of change, to go out there and really get America healthy like we want to get America healthy, not just get people on program. And we don't want to get anybody. We want to inspire. We want to motivate. And that's what having fun through this kind of a challenge will hopefully do. So that was pretty much what I got out of, going through the website. There's so much to it. But the best part is the only parts that are accessible are the parts that are relevant to us, because you see all these different tabs, but there's nothing in those other tabs yet. So we can't jump ahead and overwhelm ourselves even if we want to, which is good. Anyway, anything else? I know the leadership call, David wasn't able to make it on, was specifically probably about getting on all these links, starting to familiarize yourself with the materials that are available till we can officially invite people, and obviously what the power and benefit of the Thin It to Win It Challenge can bring us. You're on mute.
Unmute. Okay. So we submitted a request for a link to get into the
Oh, thank you for saying that. Everybody needs to do that. Yes.
Who wants a room?
Thank you, Rachel.
And then as soon as that is issued, I'm just kind of looking at that as the first time I can get in there. And I really need to feel it and see it and just play with it. And then once that happens, we can send that link out to invite. Even if we're sharing with another health coach, it just becomes their way to get into it, right? And we have to PayPal. Uh-oh. So do you have any idea when we're going to get that by any chance?
Well, I saw there was a posting by Pat Stouty for everyone who was interested in having a room to message her privately, whether that's in Team Wellness or Leadership Boot Camp. So if you are not on Facebook in those groups, or if you have team members who are not on Facebook or in those groups, you certainly want to share that with them so that everybody has the opportunity to do that. Everyone who has notified Pat that they want a room, and we need to get Rachel, with all the team members that we have to see if anybody wants to share a room.
Right.
And notify Pat of that as well. I got the email from Pat that everyone who had contacted her should have received a notification that they were on the list to get a link. I didn't.
Oh.
So I private messaged her, and about an hour later I did. So if you didn't, and she acknowledged there were 88 people that got links today. Because you can see how many people now have the links to a room.
So you got a link?
No, I'm on the list for a link. The links haven't been created.
That's what I thought. Okay, I got it. I jumped ahead. Right.
Oh, no. I probably missed that.
No. Okay, I got you.
But it's really important that if you want a room, let Pat know.
So I did that on Team Wellness or Leadership, whichever. Are you saying that if I have health coaches that are going to be in my room, I need to let them know that?
If you have the key to the room, your health coaches I don't think.
That's what I thought. Okay.
But
they will be in as clients.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good question. Excuse me.
Okay.
You would be the leader of the room.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure how it works in terms of multiple coaches being in one room if they're sharing the leadership role. It's a very good question, and I don't completely have clarification on that piece.
Okay.
But certainly, if you have coaches who want their own rooms,
they need to request.
3 coaches, right? They want to get their own link.
Right.
You can still be involved in the leadership of that room to support them, though.
Gotcha.
So as the team leader, you could very easily be managing multiple rooms.
Okay.
I'm definitely confused.
Oh, let's unconfuse you.
Okay, because I missed last week's Zoom call, and I might have missed because I was on vacation. I don't know anything about that. We're supposed to be setting up our rooms at this point. And I obviously need to talk to you about who I should partner with and how I should do the whole room thing. I'm not too late. I mean, I don't know. Am I supposed to have done this already?
You're not. No, you are not at all too late. We are all just starting to do this. The links have not been set out yet. Basically, as you've seen, because I know you've watched some of the preliminary webinars that have been sent out, the contest is basically like a hotel that we're all going to be vacationing in for 6 weeks. And Greg Rex is the owner of our team's hotel. We're all going to be part of the Rex Hotel. Mm-hmm. Everyone who wants to have a team that they're managing within the hotel is doing so in their own room.
Right.
If you do not think that you will, 10-minute notice, yeah. Okay. If you do not think that you have enough people to have enough energy in that room, you might consider pairing up with another health coach on our team to share with you. And we want to put the request in for that room that you and the other person or 2 other people will share as soon as possible.
All right. So you and I will talk about that separately then. That sounds fine.
That's all. So cute, Liz. It shows you as Elizabeth instead of Liz.
I don't know. I must have signed in like that. I don't know what I did. So I mean, I am Elizabeth.
So fun.
Hey, Malka.
But that's fine.
Oh. Malka?
Rachel?
Let me my little train of thought here. If I have coaches in my room, because I think we're all going to just be in my room.
It's going to be crowded, but what the heck?
Originally I could see where if another coach in my room invites their clients and their clients invite their friends, they must have to be identified as a health coach in order for those to look like they're their leads and not my leads. Because that was my biggest reservation of sharing the room with my downline coaches, is I just don't want it to get so muddy that none of us know who's in the room. Because this whole thing is a lead builder.
Right.
So if my coach Kathy is in my room and she has a client and that client invites all of the PTA, that all has to be driven back to Kathy as a coach. Because if Kathy just looks like another one of my guests in the room, correct, it all looks like my own leads.
Correct. So that's why I said before, it's an excellent point, Rachel.
Yeah.
That's why I said before, if multiple coaches are sharing a room and we know that is very feasible and that the leads can be tracked, there must be a way when we should register. Rachel, Kathy, Kendra, Kayleen sharing room, whatever it is. There is a way that it's going to be formulated so that you're all equally sharing the rooms and then the leads can go where they're supposed to go. I just didn't get the technicalities yet of how that's going to happen, but you're right. And it's got to be delineated when the room is reserved that there are multiple coaches in the room.
So when I requested my room link yesterday,
it was just for you.
Should I have asked if I need to submit the names of all of my coaches that will be in my room with me? Is that a good, valid question for me to ask Pat Stouty?
Yeah, it's a very valid question. That's exactly who I would ask.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll just message her. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Pat.
Okay.
I can only imagine.
I know. Pat is such a Southern belle. She can handle all of it.
I snore personally, so I think I should be in a room by myself.
I also like my own bathroom. It's going to be a problem.
Just saying.
I'm wondering, if Kathy's bringing the coffee, Rachel. Kathy, that's Rachel's job. Liz, you don't know. At every event, Rachel brings me coffee on Shabbos.
And Kathy gets up early, and I'm a late night owl, so I'm really concerned about the whole hotel thing.
So funny. It's so funny. It's going to be a lot of fun.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. That's what we just have to get.
I also was wondering, is it possible to have too many people in a room? Is that possible? Seriously, if if it keeps growing and growing, is it just feeding on itself? Is that a good thing? I just am trying to picture how it's going to be working.
I think that's also an excellent question. Really what Terry Miller was sharing is the most optimal amount of people in the room is, between 20, 25, and 30.
Right.
When you get to 70, 80 people in a room, we should all have these problems.
Right.
Remember, we're managing the room. We're watching everybody's points. Did everybody do today's reading? Sending out private messages to all, because we're coaching these people. This is our opportunity to act as health coaches for free to all of the people that have come into our rooms. So I think the answer to your question is yes. The other answer is it worth it? If you're really effectively putting in that hour a day, which is what we've been told it's going to be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour a day to manage the Thin It to Win It contest, manage our rooms, stay on top of everybody that's in the rooms and cheerlead them on and, encourage them and watch their points. If you put in 2 hours because you've got 70 people in your room, but you end up at the end of this, contest with 10 new clients and 3 new health coaches, is it worth it to you?
Right.
It's going to be 6 weeks of fun, certainly work, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And ideally, we might want to split those people up into different rooms under different people, but in that you don't have any health coaches under you yet, if you've got that many people that are building up and in that room, it's probably easier to manage them in one room than another. This is going to be a real learning experience for all of us. I think we're going to have a lot more clarity when we see the room and we understand how everything's structured and we get to play around in it a little bit. And we're certainly going to have a lot more clarity because this is only the first contest. They've told us they're going to be rolling these out, several times over the course of 2015. This is the fall one.
I'm not trying to monopolize the questions, but it led me to another question. So if I'm in a room with another coach on our team and I have 15 people and she has 15 people, I'm only coaching my 15 people, correct? She's still responsible for her 15.
Correct.
Okay. So we'll be able to see that.
Yes, that's the beauty of 2.0, according to Gary, is that you will be able to track it.
Okay.
And it just gets complicated if you have people in there, they earn points by inviting people. So it becomes not just your 15, but each of those will want to invite and invite and invite. And obviously there's a cost to this, but a lot of people don't look at $22 as a whole lot, if they feel like they can earn it back.
Yay, Alan, 2 minutes to spare. Woohoo!
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was looking so much forward to getting on the call.
So good to see your face. Not at all. Hey, Quentin, welcome.
Leslie, come here.
Hey, Leslie.
I'm so sorry.
All last week, Leslie. It's a good thing the recording didn't work.
Yeah. Come here. Yeah. I want you to tell them what you're doing. No, not that. Your success.
2 minutes. Come on, Leslie.
2
Come,
minutes.
Leslie, come. 2 minutes.
Do.
She's cooking turkey burgers.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Yum.
But she's done so well in the last, she's doing great. Down 25 pounds and going to the gym. She did yoga, hot yoga.
Oh, Rachel, hot yoga.
I
You
know.
did another one. That's
And
awesome.
tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're back at it. So
Love
I'm
it.
very proud of her. Thank you guys.
Oh, you
Sorry
guys
to get-
are awesome. You guys
Yeah.
are awesome. That's so great. Yay, you rock, guys.
So I'm sorry to miss the call. I'm really intrigued about the challenges, and I'm really excited about the format.
Have you seen the new website, Quentin?
No, I haven't. I had notes of where to go.
Challengecoaches.com.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah.
Is it? It's
all-
up and going.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
And in my practice, challenges are so important. We've done a lot of 6-week body makeovers. We do, and typically in that 6-week format. that, and then to have the 12-week sitting behind there for, recruiting purposes is brilliant. So I'm excited about all that.
Great. That's great. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of great learning tools in that website. So enjoy looking through it, from marketing pieces, how to speak to people, how to invite people, how to set up the websites, Facebook and emails. It's very, very well done, very powerful. And I appreciate all the effort that went into creating that as a support for us to help us move forward with the challenge. And I hope you'll share, maybe next week, Quentin, you'll share some of your experiences with challenges with us, because that's so great that you've already had a